Hello, everyone, and welcome into another episode of the Fastball Sports Network Wrestling Podcast. We did baseball yesterday, Mark. That was fun.
Yes, sir. It was fun. It was a nice change of pace. Got down the show. Got to hear some of his baseball takes. It was a good time. Nice little change, but we're back to our bread and butter. We're back to our wrestling.
And we're back to our bread and butter 2 weeks before the show of shows.
That's what they call it.
We're actually only 12 days away. We've got 2 days of an NXT takeover mixed in that. So, I mean, there's a lot coming up, a lot to get into. Probably won't talk that much NXT today, but we got a loaded show next week. I'm already excited.
Yeah, for sure. WrestleMania. I don't know if I said it before on the show, but you know my opinion on WrestleMania. Hopefully it's good. I'm going in. There's some matches that I'm intrigued about. There's about 9 matches that I can care less about, but we'll see what happens.
There's a lot of singles matches on the WrestleMania card.
That's a big problem.
We will save our card predictions, I guess, for next week. We want to see how these two shows play out Monday and Friday, and possibly even next Monday and next Friday, and then we'll really dive into WrestleMania. But let's start with Fastlane, the final stop on the road to WrestleMania. Just an overall grade for Fastlane in the pay-per-view.
Like a B minus, like a B. Like it was what it was. We know.
Out of 10, you'd say it's like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, 7 seems as high as I would go. Like it was fine. It does its purpose. It serves its purpose. It's to get us. It's a filler to get us to Mania. Like we know the deal.
Yep. I thought it was pretty good, all things considering. They had a lot of important matches for a card that is before the most important card of the year. So I thought they did a really good job with that. Sometimes it's a lot of filler, which it was some filler, but I thought it was pretty good. I'm right in line with you. I'd say about a 7 out of 10. What was your favorite match from that card?
My favorite match. I mean, I think the only match I really cared about was the main event. Was Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns, and it was a really, really great match. I didn't like the ending. It was really powerful. It was a really strong ending. I thought it wasn't booked poorly. I just think there was a little too much going on with Edge. I don't know if overbooked is the proper term here, but Edge goes down with the chair, and then DB gets him to tap out because the ref took the bump, and then he taps out, and then Edge hits DB with the chair, and then Roman just pins DB. I'm like, all right, a lot happened there to get us to this point, and it does make sense as we found out on SmackDown. It was announced to be a triple threat match, so I guess it all works. But that's probably my favorite match of the show.
Yeah, I would say that was mine too. Roman's just becoming so good at doing this like cowardly heel act, but also being like superhuman at the same time. DB, obviously, I mean, there's not a lot you have to say. Edge played a nice role. I thought it was a really good match. I didn't love the ending either, but they fixed it on SmackDown, or they didn't fix it. I guess that was their plan all along on SmackDown on Friday night. And honestly, again, we're not going to really talk about like predictions for the WrestleMania card or anything, but that is the match that I'm most looking forward to right now on the whole card, for me at least. There's a few other that I'm definitely looking forward to, but of all of them, I'm very curious. We were talking about this. We don't know how they're going to book that match. Maybe we'll get a little bit more insight. But yeah, that's going to be really interesting to see.
Yeah, that's one for me. Number 2 is probably like Asuka and Rhea right now.
I'm excited for that match, and I'm also excited for Sasha and Bianca. I don't know how that match is going to be bot.
Sasha and Bianca, the build is just killing me.
The build hasn't been the greatest. Like they've made Bianca look kind of I don't want to say weak. Weak's not the word, but like it just goes against her character.
It's like dumb. She looks like dumb and bad, and like I don't understand like why we're doing it this way. This should be like I should be really excited for this, and I just don't really care because of all the nonsense with Reginald and they're like slapping each other now. I don't really understand it.
Yeah, it was strange. We're gonna actually get to that feud in a few minutes, as well as Asuka and Rhea. But let's start with the Edge heel turn while we were still talking about this match. Now, Edge went officially full heel. Daniel Bryan has now forced 2 returning superstars to avert course and turn heel and go into WrestleMania as the bad guy in Batista and Edge. Do you see history repeating itself here? Do you like what's going on? What is your opinion about this whole storyline?
I really don't like Edge. I really like it's like it's really tough for me right now to like even try to assess this whole situation because I thought it was fine. It was cool. It was whatever. And then you gave him the Rumble, and they shouldn't have done that. And then after they gave him the Rumble, I was like, okay, cool. Like, don't put him against Roman because that's a mess. Like, we can't let him beat Roman. Then he put him against Roman. I'm like, what are we doing here? How are we going to book around this? They put Daniel Bryan in there, so I guess that's their book around solution. If they opt, I have no idea what their plan is for this match. I bet they don't yet either. I'm sure they don't know who's going to win yet. It's just, I don't like it. I don't.
Let
I
me
don't
ask you
like
a
what it,
question. Realistic possibility that all three men walk out, or that there's a possibility that any one of the three of them could walk out of WrestleMania as the Universal Champion?
truthfully, I think all three have an equal shot right now. I'm not comfortable. I'd probably lean Roman ever so slightly if I had to lean one direction, but like I'm not
It's like
comfortable.
34% to 33 and
Yeah,
33,
like
right?
literally, I can see any path with this. They can go any route because Roman doesn't get pinned here. That's the only thing I know for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep.
Like, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I,
See,
I
you
I don't
could
love
say
it.
that we were talking about the possibility of them putting Edge in the match. So I'm sorry, DB in the match, so Edge can pin DB. They could have put DB in the match, so Roman can pin DB. DB can pin Edge. The only person that's not getting pinned here is Roman, right?
Yeah,
So we know that. I think they've done a really, really good job with this feud. Like you, I was not into an Edge singles match at WrestleMania in the main event of WrestleMania. I am, however, into this triple threat match. I think there's enough foils here, and I think one of the things that we always say is they don't keep us guessing enough, right? We kind of know what's going to happen. We have no clue what's going to happen. We just admitted that. So, I mean, that is the one thing that really, really intrigues me about the WrestleMania main event. Um, the best main events I can remember are the ones that they've swerved us. I mean, the Seth cash-in um, against Brock and Roman was awesome. They had Brock win the one match where everyone just thought Roman was going to win and going to go over. I guess we've done Brock and Roman a few times. So yeah, so there's going to be a lot of interesting dynamics that have to play out. We've got 2 SmackDowns left to go until the show of shows. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. We'll go back now to Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Another seemingly heel turn. Is Sasha the heel officially in this feud, right? After attacking Bianca
yeah,
on
it's
Friday?
pretty safe to say they established Sasha as the heel. It's whatever. It's not what
Did
it
they
should.
need a heel? Did they need a heel? Like, did they need to do this? Did they need to turn Sasha Banks heel?
Probably not.
They
I,
could have had 2 faces, right? That's how I felt too.
that's the way like they were getting along and everything, which was fine. It was like it was just like a weird. This whole story's been so strange with the two of them being like buddy buddy, and like eventually Sasha's the bad guy now. But it's like this is the other part. How many times have we seen Sasha turn heel? Like it's just like we don't need this. It's just I don't know.
Yeah. That's going to be an interesting dynamic to see like how that plays out with who wins that title, because Bianca can't really lose, Sasha can't really lose.
I'm
Well,
taking Sasha
actually,
right now. I'm heavily leaning Sasha right now.
heavily.
Yeah.
See, I'm still like pretty. I was always leaning. Like, I've been leaning Sasha for like the last few months, but I wouldn't say I'm heavily leaning Sasha.
If
Like,
this
I
is
think
how
like,
they're booking the girl they plan to like lead the women's division, then I'm stunned in Bianca Belair. Like I
well,
think
I mean, like I said, we still have 2 SmackDowns before, so she could do something, crazy,
she'll
I guess.
she'll talk some noise about Reginald backstage, and then Sasha will be like, "Why are you doing Reginald stuff?" I'm not into it at all.
Um, I think that Bianca's probably the right choice because you can create a superstar, but then Sasha doesn't really defend titles against anyone successfully ever. She's got Carmella and just Carmella, and that's it. So I mean, they booked themselves into a little bit of a pickle here. And I'm very interested to see who they decide to go with. But again, I don't think it's Sasha definitely, but I am leaning like Sasha a little bit.
I don't think Bianca has to win. I think there's a lot of times where I look at a situation like this and think this person has to win. I don't think she has to win. I think Sasha
I'm
can
just
retain.
afraid. I'm just afraid for Bianca that if she doesn't win this match, she's gonna fall into nothingness. Where I know that if Sasha Banks loses this match, she'll be fine. Like, she'll be absolutely fine.
That's a fair concern.
Um. Now let's transfer over to the Raw Women's Title match. That's gonna happen at WrestleMania. We saw Rhea Ripley on Monday decide she was going to WrestleMania. Uh, one of those inconsistencies we always talk about how like you know, they build up this storyline that everyone's earning their spot into WrestleMania, but Rhea Ripley just came out and said, you know what? Charlotte's got COVID. I'm going to WrestleMania. So
Sure.
interesting how they did it. I don't really care that much. I'm just joking around. But I like this match. I really
So
think this is a good match. Either way you go here, booking wise, I'm leaning Rhea. I'm pretty. I'm not pretty sure. I'm like 65% sure that Rhea Ripley is going to win. But you could have Asuka win too, and
listen, I don't
keep.
think Charlotte's definitely not in this match.
Well, yeah. Well, we got to see if she recovers. You know that they want her in it, but they've been following the health and safety protocols the right way for a while. We saw Keith Lee miss like 3 weeks, so Charlotte's gonna be right around the 3 week mark. I would think that to get in this match, she probably has to be at Raw on Monday. Does
Today?
that sound fair? Or do you think they just throw her in if she could just show up to
You're
WrestleMania?
saying today or next week?
It's I'm sorry, we're filming this on Monday, 2 weeks before, 2 Mondays before WrestleMania. I'm talking next week, the last Monday, the go home show.
I mean, they could definitely have her as a surprise
Just
night.
at WrestleMania.
They could do it, but
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't think I'd be mad either way.
if she's cleared, I think she's either there tonight or next week.
That would be cool. But I don't want her in the match. Sorry, I just don't want her in the match. I think Rhea Ripley and Asuka could put on a really good match.
So do I, and I'll take Rhea regardless whether it's a singles match or a triple threat.
Okay. I don't hate that. Like I said, I'm leaning Rhea pretty much, but listen, if they want to cap off Asuka's year as champ, you know, they could just
That's just
keep it on
Charlotte.
her.
That's just Charlotte just shows up.
Don't give it to Charlotte. Please
Charlotte
don't give it to
conquers
Charlotte.
COVID for her 13th world title.
She's already John. She's already got as many as John. It's crazy.
She's close.
The Hurt Business in shambles. Does this affect the WrestleMania match at all, or no?
I think
Should we talk about it? Do you want to talk about it?
I think it's past time to get rid of Cedric and Shelton. They don't really bring anything to the table in terms of like I don't look at the four of them being like, oh, that's like MVP work.
Yeah.
MVP's doing wonders for Lashley. Those two should be together forever. Like the other two don't need to be there.
Yeah, I mean, like if they can't find a way to make them relevant over the next 2 weeks, I wouldn't mind if I didn't see them at WrestleMania or involved in the match. But I thought it was like I mean, like I don't think it was that poorly booked Monday, but then he just demolished both of them in the handicap match. So, you know, it's interesting. Just
they're out of the tag title picture now. They just don't really need to be a thing anymore.
yeah, that's actually a great segue into our next topic here. The tag team champions, who are the New Day, and they will go up against AJ and Almas. And my question for you is that pairing of AJ and Almas like legit? Like, can you see them holding the tag team gold?
Yeah, why not? It's a tag titles. Who cares? Like, you don't have to be a real tag team. Like,
I don't know. We've never seen Almas like even resemble anything that like wrestles, right? So
listen, he's with AJ. AJ can do everything. Like a
no,
tag.
I realize that, but there's going to be a point in that match where Almas is going to get in, and the entire world is going to be wondering, like, can this guy move at all?
Dude, he's not gonna be putting on a clinic. They're gonna be running at him. They're gonna bounce off and fall down.
There needs to be like 3 minutes where he like is moving like more than he's moved, more than we've seen him. You know what I mean? Like he's got to get in the match and wrestle like a little bit. Like he doesn't have to fall to the floor or anything like that.
No.
He's got to be fluid. You know what I mean?
I think he'll tag in. I think they'll take turns running at him, just falling down. Like, how do we get this guy down? They don't know what to do, and he like just double clotheslines them or something, and like tags back in AJ. Like, I don't think he does anything.
That's it. That's what you're calling the spot as a double clothesline and then a tag back.
Maybe like a choke slam or something. Like maybe he just picks up Woods and throws him, but like he's not gonna do real stuff. Like he's like 7'2".
I hope that he does more than what you're saying because I want to see. I want to see him go.
I don't think he has to do more than what I'm saying. I think that's impactful enough that when like AJ's gonna do the heavy lifting. That's a lock. But like maybe AJ's really tired. He does like the hope tag and like the Woods and Kofi will look all scared and they won't know what to do. It'll work. It'll be good.
All right, it'll work. It'll be good. You have that's the first match that Marcus that will be good. So there you go. You have that one.
It's like the only one so far with an ounce of excitement.
And that we'll go over to SmackDown and their tag team champions. We've got Rude and Ziggler, seemingly going against the entire rest of the locker room. This is a mess. I'm
How
not
are they the
interested.
tag
I'm
champions?
not
How was
interested
that
at
a thing?
all. Like I don't care about this at all. That music is the worst music ever. Whoever decided like this sounds good, this is what like Ziggler, like Ziggler's probably sitting there like listen, like I've done a bunch of like weird, terrible things for this company, like in terms of like booking. But this song is the worst thing you've ever had me do. Like the worst thing you've ever had. Like, it's so bad. Anyway, eh, four. I think there's four teams in this match as of right now. Maybe we can add more. I mean, it hasn't officially been announced, but they all beat each other every single week. There's two tag team matches on SmackDown every single week, and they rotate opponents and they rotate winners. That's so that seems where the booking is going for that. Do you have a favorite here?
I think a long time ago, I picked Rey and Dominic to win the tag titles at
You
WrestleMania.
just sticking with it?
So I'm gonna stick with it. It kind of looks like that's like more of a clear image now. I'm gonna ride it.
I mean, they're in the match, right? So that's the clearest image you can have, right?
I don't think Otis and Gable really matter. Like they're whatever. I don't know how Rude and Ziggler are champs. Obviously the Street Profits are a real tag team, but it's like we can't just give it back to them. Then we're back where
I
we
mean, like
were.
we could call Ray and Dominic a real tag team, like if they started tagging
Yeah.
together. Like there's like a reason that those two like teamed up. So when we say real tag team, we don't necessarily mean like you had to be a tag team on NXT and like come up the
Oh
ranks.
yeah. I think
We just need a common bond that draws them together, and their common bond is that they're a father and a son, right? So yeah, they're a real tag.
they're a real two. We're 2 for 4. I think the Street Profits
That's
and the
not bad, honestly. 50% is not bad.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm gonna be interested. It's gonna be like I'm just wondering like what that match is gonna look like. Hopefully it's the Fatal Four. Like then they're all four in the ring. I don't know if they could pull that off. Because like they do with the three sometimes now, where all three of them are in the ring. But like I know you hate that stipulation where it's like only two men are in the ring.
That's really
And then
stupid. I'd say that could like save this match for me. Where if they have one guy from each team legal, then that could be a fun watch.
yeah, that could be a ton of fun.
If there's two guys legal out of the 8, that's terrible.
You know, it'd be cool. I don't know if they could pull this off, but like, what if they did like a ladder match or something like that, like a fatal four-way ladder match,
That could be really good.
a tornado tag fatal four-way ladder match. Like, I think that would be. I don't know if they could pull it off. Like, I mean, like, okay, I mean, there's enough like veterans in there that they could pull that match off, but it'd be tough. But I think it'd be really cool.
That's another stipulation that could really, really help this match out.
Like an ode to like the Hardys and the Dudleys and Edge and Christian when they used to do those, TLC matches. Like that would be really, really cool if they could find a way to pull that off. We don't know what the stipulations are going to be for that match yet, and we don't know if they're done adding tag teams. I think they are, but who knows? Maybe they could add a mystery fifth.
They could.
Um, who's Big E's opponent?
Apollo.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's already announced.
Okay. Apollo's going to win.
Is Apollo gonna win? If not, he's done, right? Like, yeah, this whole new character.
I feel like it's good. We gotta do that. Like Big E doesn't need the IC title. It's whatever.
I mean, I could care less about Nigerian Prince Apollo Cruz.
This is a shame, folks, because honestly, Mark was Apollo's biggest fan when
I loved him. I thought he was awesome.
He was like, this kid's gonna be special, and to no fault of Apollo's, he did not wind up being special. But it's sad to see, like he's in a singles match at WrestleMania, like that's kind of a big deal, and now it's just like, yeah, we don't really care. I don't blame you. I don't really either.
I mean, they're like building up E at the same time they're building up Apollo, and E beat him twice already or 3 times already. So like Apollo kind of has to win this one, but then like I don't know. We kind of have to end this too. Like this has been going on Big E's entire title run for what, like 3 months now. Like
he's getting the Sasha Banks treatment where he's only defended it against one person.
Yeah, so like I'm fine with Apollo taking it, but then like I don't want Big E going back after it. Big E's got to go do something else. Big E's got to fight Roman. Big E's got to do something different.
Mm-hmm. I think that they should give it to Apollo, but I don't know what they'll actually do. This is another one where it could go either way. Unfortunately, we don't care as much as the other ones that could go either way. But what about, and this is one that I'm super excited for, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Sammy's been entertaining and funny, and Kevin Owens is great. And I'm just excited for this match. They always put on good matches. I know you're going to say it doesn't really mean anything, like the winner doesn't really mean anything, but it's going to be a really good match.
Yeah, for sure. This is actually one of like the only let's throw a match together that I enjoy, and because they're both awesome. We know how good their in ring chemistry is. It's just it is like the writers sitting there like, oh, we have nothing for KO, we have nothing for Sammy. They'll fight each other. It's fun. Like it's just like
Mhm.
it's that's my only issue with it, which is not like a real problem. I'm excited for the match. It's going to be awesome, but it's just like I don't know. There's so many singles matches. Like there's so like this one is a good one. I'm not mad about this one at
Mhm.
all. But like I don't need to see Seth versus Cesaro at all. I'm sorry.
That's a great segue into our next match, Seth versus Cesaro. I knew you were going to hate this match. I don't care for it either. It seems like filler, but not like filler. Like, okay, so we talk about filler and you said like, oh, the writers didn't have anything for Sammy and KO, but there's a history there, right? Between Sammy and KO.
Yeah.
There's a legitimate history there in which Sammy and KO are best friends, they're bitter enemies. And so anytime they renew this rivalry, it's important. We want to see it, and they do a great job. Seth Rollins and Cesaro have none of what I just said. None, no history, no nothing.
The
I
story is Seth doesn't want to get swung by him. Seth's like, I don't want. You're not going to swing me again. Then he swung him again. Like that's like the story. It's like you're not going to embarrass me. Like you're a failure. It's just like
if Seth Rollins loses his match, and I'm not sure if you and I'm not sure what night that's going to be, if you and I are going to be together watching it or not, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to look over to you and I'm just going to see your face turn purple with anger.
Cesaro's going to win this match.
I
Like
think Seth wins.
I'm taking Cesaro like confidently.
I
Like
really think Seth is going to win this match.
I hope I'm wrong, but I
I He beat Shinsuke the other day at Fastlane, like really easy. Cesaro's hasn't done anything since losing the Elimination Chamber match. Like I think this is Seth Rollins has that great WrestleMania record that he's putting on the line. Like I think this is a Seth Rollins match.
took Seth last year and he lost to KO. Right? KO won that match.
I don't know. It. I don't want to say it doesn't matter because I was just hyping up the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn match, but like it matters for Cesaro. I mean, but like this could start Seth Rollins like road back to like main event. Not that he's not a main eventer, but just like not like rebuilding him, but like keeping him winning matches, keeping him winning at pay-per-views, keeping this persona up as like this dude who doesn't want to get swung. No, I'm kidding.
You don't have to sell me on it. Like I'm all for Seth winning. I just don't think it's
No, I'm just saying like this is the natural step in that. You know what I mean? Like if he loses, like he's just like I don't know, he mulls around in the mid card for a little while. But if he keeps winning, it's like okay, whenever he's ready to go up and face that next challenge, it's ready for
I
him. You know what I
think
mean?
that there was a lot of rumors Cesaro was going to leave. They got him to resign. I think that came with a push that he has not gotten yet. He kind of got started a little bit with Elimination Chamber, like kind of teasing he was going to get the Roman match. He never got that. I just don't see why you make him relevant, why you give him his first singles match ever at WrestleMania, why you put him in a story with Seth Rollins and have him lose. It makes no sense.
I I don't blame you for thinking what you're thinking. I just feel like you can't have Seth Rollins lose to Cesaro at WrestleMania.
I
That's
hope you're right,
not
truthful.
that Cesaro's bad. Like I'm not bashing Cesaro here. I'm just saying Seth Rollins is Seth Rollins, and like some people don't like him, some people love him, but he's definitely very good.
It's like devil's advocate, though. Like, it doesn't really matter if Seth loses. He'll be fine the next week on SmackDown. Like,
Yeah,
Cesaro,
it's just
Cesaro
like
losing
I
doesn't
said,
matter.
if he wins, I mean, like I guess it doesn't. I guess it depends on like when we are eventually expecting him to be in the main event, right? Like eventually he's going to build towards that main event again, whether it's against a face Daniel Bryan or a heel Roman Reigns and he's the face, or maybe a face Roman Reigns and he's the heel. We don't know what could be in store, but eventually he's going to be that guy that's going to be in the main event in SmackDown. There's some big names that they could pair him with. You want to keep him winning. Now, if he loses at WrestleMania and then goes on a winning streak after that, not against Cesaro, that's fine too. But you could give him another win at WrestleMania, bolster that WrestleMania record that they like to tout so much. He's like one of the winningest superstars at WrestleMania. I think he's lost to KO and Randy, but he also won that match. He also won at that pay-per-view that Randy beat him.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got to win. He's got to win at that WrestleMania. So yeah. But we will move on to Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon. and you're not excited for this match at all. I'm excited because Shane always does something cool and it's always great. And it's going to take us like 15 minutes that we don't want to get there. But when he does it, we're all going to be sitting there like, is he alive? And when we can confirm he's alive, we're going to be like, wow, that was cool. Thank you, Shane, for putting your body on.
The punches always bother me, but it's gonna really bother me when it's Braun Strowman and he's like fake punching, where he's more like this and like Braun's like falling down. He can't like grab his breath. It's a little too much for me.
What do you think Shane's going to jump off of?
The ship. They have like the ship there.
Oh,
The pirate ship.
oh, you think he's going to walk the plank and jump off the pirate ship?
Yeah, why not?
That would be that would be really cool. Come on, if he went to the prop in the
He's like,
stadium and jumped
like
off of it.
5 years old. He does not care about his life or his family. It's something else.
Shane has produced some of the best spots in the history of WWE. The one that really comes to mind for me is Roman Reigns in the Survivor Series match speared him doing the coast to coast, and and Randy Orton, sadistic Randy Orton, had to go over to Shane's kids and be like, "Don't worry, Dad is okay." Like that's crazy. Like you got Randy Orton to break character to go and talk
Like
to
he was dead. He looked like Roman killed him.
It did. It really did. And that's why I like Shane matches. He always delivers. Like even if he doesn't deliver the punches the right way, he always does deliver. All right, I'll stop talking about it. We've got some new Hall of Fame news since the last time we spoke. Kane's been inducted today. We got the news that Rob Van Dam, one of your favorites of all time, is going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Really cool. This class, it's starting to get into that range where now we see guys and we're like, oh yes, he wrestled when I watched TV. Because we could appreciate the Stone Cold Steve Austins, the Rocks, even the Shawn Michaels. We didn't really have them in their prime. But I mean, Kane, I guess, was in that class, but Kane also was just a constant for even the times where we started watching too. So really cool for them. I think that's a great group of guys.
Yeah, for sure. I started watching in like 2005, 2006-ish, and like RVD was one of the main guys then. He was one of the main players. I really liked him. He was really, really cool. He was like one of the first guys that could do high fly moves and do some of like the powerlifting stuff. Like he's kind of like, it's kind of more common now. We see a lot of guys kind of doing that stuff. I feel like he was one of the first of his builds, of his molds. And yeah, like Kane and Khali, two other guys that
that's right, the great Khali as well. Yes,
during our years were like really prominent. That's pretty cool to see now.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for all three of those guys. RVD was really cool today. Kane, obviously, just such a constant in the company. Just all really, really cool stuff. The WWE, I believe, named the greatest 50 female wrestlers of all time. Number one on the list. Do you know who it was?
It's not Natalya, right?
No, it's not Natalya. Come on.
You said WWE did it. Is it Trish?
Hold on. I'm gonna pull up the list now. It was indeed Trish Stratus. She was number one. Agree, disagree?
I agree.
No question, right?
She's my one for sure.
I'm very interested to see who number two is.
Charlotte, probably.
I'm gonna pull it up.
I'm
now.
Serious. Like,
we're
probably
gonna keep it like 6 for now, and then redo the list in like 10 years.
I think Charlotte's probably two. Like, all jokes aside.
Okay. Here we go. Okay. I will just scroll down to the top 10 here.
My top
number one is Trish Stratus. Number two is Charlotte Flair.
I agree. My top three would be Trish Stratus, Charlotte, and Becky. That's my top three.
And what do you know? Becky Lynch, number 3 on the list.
I agree completely.
Do you want to guess who number 4 was? I don't think you're gonna get it.
Is it like Alundra Blaze, like one of those girls?
It's China.
Ah, okay.
5 is actually Asuka.
Really?
I'm hoping that I'm looking at the right list now. I'm pretty sure I am. 6 is Sasha Banks.
So they put Lita like right behind Sasha and Bailey.
7 is Alundra Blaze, and 8 is Lita.
Where's Bailey?
9 is Ronda Rousey, and 10 is Bailey.
That's terrible.
That's terrible.
This is WWE's list. Are you sure this is their list?
I'm gonna double check. Um,
That's awful. Poor Bailey.
WWE reveals 50 greatest women's superstar names of all time. I'm just checking another one to make sure that we got it right. Yep. Trish, Charlotte, Becky, Chyna, Asuka, Sasha Banks, Alundra Blaze, Lita, Ronda Rousey, Bailey, rounding out the top 10. But all four horsewomen are in the top 10, which I think is pretty impressive because they haven't been around that long.
I think that's fair. It's like, what was Ronda here? So, I don't know, 15 months?
Do you want to guess where Natalya was on the list? Because you said she was going to be 1. So,
Like 15?
20. She was number 20 on the list. AJ Lee was actually 19.
Did Natalya tweet about it, how it's not fair, and she's
I don't
looked
believe
past?
so. Shayna Baszler is actually 18. I don't know. I guess they take NXT into account too when doing these lists. Paige was 17, Sable was 16, Molly Holly 15, Victoria 14, Alexa Bliss 13, Mickey James 12, and Beth Phoenix at 11.
Okay. I mean, like, I think top 12 is really solid. I don't think Alexa's 13. I don't think that's fair yet. Like, I don't think she's done enough.
Anybody else you're curious?
Um, Not really.
I was very curious where the Bellas were on this list.
That's true.
I thought Nikki would be higher. I really did. Like I thought she'd be top 20 for
Longest
sure.
run, yeah.
Like Shayna Baszler probably will get there, but like right now, like if we're looking at like impact,
The
like
Bellas have definitely been more influential than like
a
Alexa.
lot of these women,
Alexa.
like, and that's not to say like that they're better wrestlers or anything like that. I'm just saying like in terms of influence, in terms of getting women's wrestling
Think
to where it
about
was.
all the attention and money they've made off the
Mhm.
Bellas.
Yeah, it's true. They were 26, the
That's
Bella twins,
that's
not Nikki and Brie. They're the Bella twins. That's kind of really surprising.
that's surprising.
With Io Shirai coming in at 25. Like that seems wrong. You know what I mean?
To
Like
me, this is almost like we want to pretend like the divas didn't exist type of thing, and like you know what I mean, like because the Bellas were thriving during like the diva era. Like maybe there's like you know what. We want to like look past that, like the women's revolution, like all that stuff. But that's
Stephanie McMahon comes in at 23. I knew you were gonna get a kick out of
all right. Let's move on from this.
that.
Who's 50? Who is the
Who made the list? And then
who just made
Tony
the
Storm.
cut?
Tony
Who?
Storm.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
Who's
why not? Sure.
a lot of NXT talent on this list, like Ember Moon,
Haven't been
Shotzi.
that many big females.
Yeah, I'm just wondering where like Kelly, Eve Torres, Lacey Evans is 39 on this list. I know you're a big Lacey Evans fan.
I
So
do like Lacey.
Eve is 40, Kelly's 45,
Just
Carmella's 34.
did the Iconics make it as a duo?
Ooh, I don't see them. They might be the only current day talent not on this list.
Lana.
Oh no, they didn't put Lana on here. That's terrible.
Nia's got to be there. They must have put Nia.
Where's Nia Jax? Nia Jax is 36.
All right. Moving on from this. Tony Storm's good.
Oh, Sonya Deville is here. That's kind of strange, right?
Is Mandy there too?
I don't see Mandy. No,
Dana Brooke?
I don't see Dana either. Again, I could be skipping over some. We'll have to look into the list in depth. If you guys see anybody who's not on that list that you think should be on that list, comment down in the section below because I'm curious because I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Like I'm sure Tori Wilson or like that like group is on that list somewhere in the 20s to 40s range. So it's gonna I want to take another look at it and see. But that's definitely an interesting list that they put together. Lastly, this is the last thing we have to talk about. Do you want to talk about AEW?
I don't know anything to share if that's what you're asking.
Okay, so we don't have to talk about AEW this week. No, you got mad at me that we don't talk enough about AEW, so I wanted to give you the forum to talk about
They had
AEW.
a big week the last time we did this. They signed
They
like
did.
4 guys.
They had a big week. Christian Cage and Paul White, all elite. Anything else that's currently going on that you want to talk about? Any feuds that I might have mulled over and just didn't give the time today,
I get
or
to watch Raw in like 1 hour. That's sick.
yes,
I'm
an
so
hour and 5
excited.
minutes.
But I'm a little interested in like the Drew Lashley part of the feud where Lashley went into all the jobbers and was like, whoever could take out Drew, you get the match at Mania. But like, it's gonna be Drew just killing everyone. But I'm gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be funny.
I found it interesting. I could see a good match between Drew and Ricochet.
I don't see them fighting. I think it's gonna be like the DX bounty type
Like
of
I
thing. The
don't,
guys just
I
walk.
don't think, I don't think Ricochet goes after Drew backstage. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that that's like I feel like if there's one person in that group, it'll be like, hey, listen, like Drew, like I don't have anything against you, but I got to take you out before WrestleMania, so we're gonna have a match later tonight. Like, I feel like Ricochet could be the one guy in that group
Okay.
of people where it's like, okay, like they're gonna do that. Like you saw the way he was looking, he was like interested, but I don't know. You're right. That's gonna be interesting to see. And I also would, I think that would be a really cool match too, Ricochet, Drew.
That works.
And I don't think he would kill him if that happened. Like, I don't think like Drew would just
Uh,
like put him in the dirt if that match were to happen.
he would win, obviously, but he'd make him look good.
Right. Yeah.
But you
Uh,
remember like literally 10 years ago, maybe more, with the DX bounty, all the guys were
yeah.
running at the DX. Like I think that's what's gonna happen backstage. Like
And
guys,
they were just like like avoiding them like by accident.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Like, Drew's gonna kill everyone.
um, but yeah, it looks like that's gonna do it for us here today. If you enjoyed the show, you know, maybe throw a like, sub. We'll be back for WrestleMania at some point in time next week. We also have to talk about NXT. We didn't really talk about NXT, but there are some stuff going on down there. Or I keep saying down there. It's not really the minor leagues anymore. I can't keep talking about it like it's the minor leagues. But anyway, there's some stuff going on in NXT that we have to talk about. We will be talking about Takeover, WrestleMania, any more additions to the Hall of Fame, and everything in between next week. Maybe we'll do two. I think we might have to do two, honestly, because there's a lot of stuff that we have to fit in. So we will see you guys next week. Thank you for watching.